All right, guys. I hope you all can hear me. This is one of those streams that are going to be extremely important. And if you're panicking right now, you have every right to be worried. Because this is really what we have been waiting for, right? And I think those who are relatively new to cryptocurrency, those who do not have any exposure to the stock market, those who have been sitting at the sidelines for just waiting for something to happen, this is really now the time to wake up, listen, and start doing something about it. All right, so NYC, what's up? What's up? Houston here, what's up, man? Represent. All right, guys. Let's allow more people to start getting in. I don't want anybody to miss what I'm about to say. If you're about to go to sleep, I suggest that you stay up, get a cup of coffee, get comfortable, because I'm gonna only do this once. Okay, I'm gonna do this once. I'm not gonna come on every week to talk about it, because this is what I've been waiting for 10 years. This is something that happened to me back in '08 when I first started banking. Anybody who knows me clearly knows that I came in during the bear market. I started my career in banking and finance back in 2008. I came in during the subprime, and right now we have that exact same scenario 10 years down the road. This is something that if you have been waiting for life-changing profits, if you have been someone who has been struggling with money, you have been waiting to find an opportunity to pay and clear off your debt, if you are looking to just get ahead financially, this is it, guys. This is it. Okay, so we have a few people already in watching this live. Okay, so guys, firstly, let's talk about what's happening first. All right, what has caused this sell down? I think everybody knows that the coronavirus is really widespread. It's a pandemic at the moment. World Health Organization has already said that this is truly a pandemic. A lot of countries are now shutting down. Okay, shutting down in a sense that they're locking down, preventing travel. They're not allowing foreigners to come into the country. At the same time, there are quarantine measures, especially if you are suspected of having the COVID, right, or the coronavirus. You are to quarantine yourself in your home for at least 14 days, or if you have a quarantine area, you have to probably be there, right, and not infect other people. Now, this has also in turn caused businesses to be paralyzed. You're talking about retail, you're talking about not being able to be as productive as possible. A lot of things are happening at the moment. So the whole economy, a lot of economies are getting hit. So hear me out, okay? Because right now this is something where you're not gonna have the opportunity in the stock market. Firstly, look at the Dow, look at the Nasdaq, look at the Eurozone, look at the Euro stocks, German boss. Everything is being sold down massively. We're talking about bear market, global recession level. Okay, this is not the you're trying to scare me. No, it's not. Go out there, read about what's happening in the market. This is serious shit. Okay, so once you notice, once you have identified that, firstly, how do I know that? Okay, I'm going to be sharing a few charts. At the moment, okay, guys. Okay, so right now, okay, let me just share this piece of information. All right, back in 0809, okay, the whole global financial crisis hit, right? Subprime. This was during the subprime crisis. Lehman Brothers. The whole collateralized debt. All turning toxic, right? Because everybody was over leveraged. This was financial, nothing to do with any kind of disease or whatever. It was just a whole unwinding. Now, what is happening now is that it's a whole accelerated global slowdown, right? Because you're talking about people not being able to travel. You're looking at tourism being cut. Airlines are gonna look bad. Airlines are gonna start losing money, closing down. You're gonna have a huge hit to property. You're gonna have folks in banking and banking especially, right? Because banks are focused on lending. And right now, if people are potentially losing their jobs, they are not as productive. Companies are forced to restructure. They are forced to cut down on staff. They are laying people off. People will also start defaulting. Companies, small businesses who are very dependent on cash flow, debt facilities, will also have to be forced to close down. This is pretty serious. Now, let me talk about all the bad stuff first, then I'll show you the light at the end of the tunnel. So you guys have to listen up, because if you miss out on what I have to say, or you're just watching this very sporadically, this truly is not for you. You're probably not interested, you're not affected, then good. But if you are trying to get ahead, this is something that you got to listen to. So back in 2008, 2009, if you look at the volatility S&P 500, this is an actual derivative product that you can get involved in, but I suggest that you don't really get into it directly, but I'm just showing you the significance. So back in 08, 09, right, this is when subprime hit. We had a high. Okay, we had a high. This is basically the 1 week chart of the VIX. Okay, it went up to almost close to 100. Okay, it was 96. Right now, where are we now in terms of the VIX? The whole market is selling down. There's so much fear in the market that we are already 75.47. We probably will cross 100, guys. We're probably going to be crossing 100. And I would say that the Dow has pretty much another 20 to 30% more to go down. There is a lot of potentials to short the market. There are also people who are planning to buy up the stock market. This is really the time to start building up that portfolio. Now, I know that people in crypto do not like to look at stocks, or they are pretty oblivious to it. It's okay if you want to dedicate most of your funds to crypto, that's fine as well. But I would highly suggest looking at the stock market as well. But firstly, there are certain industries that are not going to do well. Banking and finance is not going to do well. Airlines are not going to do well. You're talking about anyone who is in the retail business are not going to do well. But there are companies, for example, fast-moving consumer goods. You're looking at bare necessities. Companies that are focusing on food, are focusing on toiletries. Anything that is basic human necessities are fine, right? Education is still going to be okay, but if schools are starting to shut down, everything right now is on sale. Okay, no one is spared. If you look at anything, any kind of stock in any industry, everyone is taking a hit. Nobody is spared, guys. Okay, so the Dow is going to take I anticipate the Dow to drop another 30 to 40%. Okay, what is the reason for that? We have been in a 10-year bull market for the stock market. Okay, 10 years of cheap money. Cheap money has been flowing into the stock market. The current pull that you're experiencing now is not from the retail investors, it's more from the hedge funds, the fund houses, okay, family offices pulling the plug on the stock market. This is real. They're all holding cash. There are going to be a few rounds because the first round has already happened, right? That's why you can see that the Dow Jones can drop by 30%, can easily drop by 30% in a very short span of time. There is a reason for that, because majority of the money, you're looking at pension funds, you're looking at all the big boys pulling the rug first, okay? Subsequently, you will see the retail market start to react. Now, I feel very, I roughly know that those who come in late, those who stepped in the last 2 years, have already seen their portfolio practically get wiped out 30% already. Okay, anyone who bought stocks very recently are not going to feel happy at all, and unfortunately, they really bought at the peak of the market. It's just like when you bought into the hype in 2007 when the market was at its high. At that point, you are also going to be stuck in that position for a very long time. Now, if you're someone who is adopting a dollar cost averaging strategy, now is really one of the best times to start building up your position, because you are now in that you're holding cash, you didn't really know what to do, you were a bit hesitant, but right now is the time to go in. If I had someone 10 years ago to tell me exactly this same thing, I would be in such a great position right now. And I want to be that person. I want to be that person to add value to you and not tell you that shit hits the fan, you shouldn't do anything. No. But should you get in now, you should have some positions in the market, especially for BTC, especially for the fundamentally sound things that are in crypto, right? Because crypto is definitely not a safe haven, okay? A lot of people thought that Bitcoin is a safe haven. I have never ever said that. In fact, in some of my videos, I mentioned that we do not know that, because Bitcoin was created during the subprime. When subprime hit, that's when Bitcoin first started out, okay? But at that time, it wasn't the economy that we know now. It wasn't anywhere near the market cap that we have right now, okay? There were clearly very little altcoins. There was no market. In fact, there were few exchanges that were running with proper liquidity. Right now, we have exchanges that have enough liquidity. There are so many derivative products. So take note, during this bear market, right? This is clearly ground zero for you all. Okay, it's ground zero. If you all don't act now and you miss out on this sale, you are fearful. I completely understand. I would be scared shitless if I have not been and I have not experienced this exact same type of level of distress. This is clearly scary, but try to look at the bigger picture. So let me help you look at the bigger picture now. Let me drink some water. I'm very, very excited. Okay, so guys, right now, if you have no Bitcoin, you have no altcoins, right? Now, when I say this, take note that you have to do your research. This is not financial advice. This is basically based on my opinion, and whatever risk that I take in this market is entirely my own. It's my own money. I am definitely looking at a few things. Now, I want to share my thought process, how I'm going to strategically approach this market in the next 8 months. In the next 8 to 12 months. This is very, very crucial, because the next 8 to 12 months is what's going to set you up for the next 5 to 10 years. If you suddenly decide to not do it and not follow through, that's fine as well, because everybody is in a different financial situation. Everybody has a different financial standing. So I totally understand if you do not want to participate, but stick around, listen up. You may get more information down the road, but it may not necessarily be from me, but I hope that you're getting it from the right sources. So right now, if the Dow Jones, let's assume, okay, let's put some numbers to it. I personally feel that the Dow Jones will drop another 30 to 40%. I feel that the S&P 500 could drop anywhere from 50 to 70%. Why do I say this? Because a lot of the price earning ratios have already been way too high. It's just too high. The multipliers are just not keeping up with the earnings. This has been the truth for a very long time. Everyone who is in the financial markets knows this. They know that I'm making a lot of sense right now. Now, they are waiting to get back in. So whatever selling that is happening right now happens because right now they have to just pull the plug. Right? Obviously, they could sit around and wait, but they decided not to, because they already got the news that shit is going to hit the fan. US is going to be bad. Europe is going to be bad. Asia, everywhere is going to get hit. Okay? Everywhere is going to get hit. People are going to get angry. People are blaming China, so on and so forth. There's a lot of unnecessary things that are happening in the market right now. Okay? And that is why people will get angry in the next year or so. It's going to be very, very rough for a lot of people. Okay, and that reality will eventually sink in. And if you are someone who could potentially be affected, okay, it's time to wake up. Because when you only have one income stream, okay, this is when it starts to get serious. Okay, and especially if you have you have children, you have you have spouse, you have elderly parents who depend on you for income, it's gonna get very, very rough. Okay, that is something that I clearly know firsthand. Okay, and right now I know it's not easy to suddenly pick up a new skill or whatever, but I think you need to start thinking about various types of options. If your job is not affected, clearly, because not every single job is affected, right? There are going to be jobs that are going to be completely safe, necessary. In fact, they're going to be thriving. They're going to be doing very, very well in this current market scenario. But I know a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. This is real, guys. This is not a fat comment or whatever. Read the papers, read whatever that you can see from your own country. You know that it's deep shit right now. Okay, so but that being said, if you are able and you have been building, you just started a small business, you just registered your business and you're just starting out, you're a one-man show, two-man show, this is the best time to be building. Go lean, and don't be afraid to try out new things, especially during this bear market, because right now is where the opportunities will come about, right? And if you didn't take any kind of loan facility, even better, because right now if you take any kind of loan facility, it's going to be actually quite it's going to be very taxing on you, because you have a timer, you're on a countdown. Every month you have to pay something, especially if you're on rental. If you have a business and you just have an office space or whatever, it's going to be relatively challenging, because now the sales are not necessarily coming in. Now this, you'd be surprised, guys, that during times like this, right, there are people who are completely oblivious to the stock market because they don't touch the stock market, right? They only can feel it much later. Like they realize things are getting more expensive, or perhaps when their favorite store suddenly starts closing down. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? There are people who really don't know what's going on, guys. So this is only for the few who understand, who've been tracking the economy, who've been observing gold, precious metals, commodities. Oil has dropped 30%, right? I think oil probably has dropped more, because why? The consumer demand isn't there. People are not really requiring oil. Why is oil dropping? You must be asking. Well, because airlines are not taking as many passengers. A lot of the airlines are all of the Boeings are all grounded, guys, because no one is traveling. When no one is traveling, who is burning fuel? At the same time, if imports and exports are also being shut down, right? Who is burning fuel for the ships? Nobody. So that's why oil price is gonna tank, and it's gonna be like that for a long time. Now, will this thing blow over? All right, I am sure human beings are very adaptable. They will know how to eventually control and clear the COVID. Okay, now COVID, though very contagious, is not as deadly as SARS. Okay, this is in Singapore so far. Right now, we are having new cases, but the death toll is actually very, very low in Singapore. Okay, it's very, very low, right? Yes, it's also very humid here. You have people who have the exact same symptoms, such as dry cough, fever, so on and so forth, but that's relatively controlled as well. So Singapore, China so far has been handling it relatively well, and as people start to find the vaccine and everything like that, they know how to just be more self-conscious and quarantine this. I feel that this will blow over. But for now, there is a lot of panic, especially Italy. I think Italy has been hit relatively hard as well. It is very, very sad. I've been reading all the news. Now, firstly, if you're someone who is if you're someone who has cash, you've been sitting at the sidelines, you really you do not know what's going on, right? I don't expect you to get into crypto, because crypto is just way too volatile. At the same time, when you look at crypto markets, right, crypto markets are definitely not a safe haven. For whatever reason that people thought that when the bear market comes, Bitcoin is going to be the savior, it's going to be a hedge. Bullshit. No, it's not. Okay, you got your answer today. Okay, today you already got your answer. Okay, because right now, when the whole market is being sold down, anyone who is also holding Bitcoin will also be hit hard. Now, miners are definitely going to be hit hard during this period of time. A lot of times, right, they are not relatively rich, okay? Especially if you're fully on leverage, you are definitely going to be feeling the stress, you're going to be feeling the heat. When you are when you are borrowing at this point of time, it's going to be very, very stressful, right? That's why I've always advocated clear your debt. Make sure you start living a little bit more prudently, especially in the next 18 months. A lot of people are just going to be feeling the heat, right? Especially if you were borrowing just to buy a car, you were trying to look great. All these things are irrelevant right now, and the reality is that I foresee there's going to be a lot of defaults. Now let's talk about the opportunities in the market. Okay, right now, guys, it's gonna be a situation where if you I'm gonna talk about the folks who are supposed to get in. Now, the folks who are supposed to get in, crypto is the only place that probably allows you to do that, where you are able to buy small amounts, right? But I'm not saying that the stock market doesn't offer opportunities. It's just that you have to be a little bit more hardworking. When you look at stocks, right? Stocks are based on the fact that there are earnings. These companies produce something. They have sales. They have P&L, okay, profit and loss. They have operating costs. They potentially also have assets, right? It is more holistic. There are more things to look at. Whereas crypto, a lot of all these things that I just mentioned, all these metrics are not revealed in its entirety. So crypto, unfortunately, will fall into that highly speculative aspect. I would say it's always high risk to go into crypto, even Bitcoin, right? Even Bitcoin is considered that. Now, for people who are looking at the stock market right now, I feel, okay, that it could drop more. But if you are looking at dedicating your funds, especially, I also know that when you're looking at the stock market or anything related to it, it tends to also offer certain tax exemptions. Whereas crypto is highly speculative. You tend to get taxed way more, right? And usually for stocks, right, you have an opportunity to hold for more than 1 year. That brings down the overall capital tax, the capital tax gains, right? You want to be able to hold for 1 year or more. Right now is clearly going to approach that time. Now, I'm not saying that right now you get in. It is not the bottom yet. There are usually 2, 3, 4 waves, okay? Before it starts bottoming out, there has to be a consolidation point where the market is clearly so oversold, there's nothing else to sell. There's no more stocks to sell. No one is letting go of anything anymore because they feel that everything is already way oversold, especially in terms of valuation. Now, valuation-wise, how do you look at it for stocks is very different when you look at it for crypto. Crypto, most of the time, you're looking at long-term trend channels. Okay, it's very technical based, right? There's very little numbers to back it up. Okay, and at the same time, will exchanges get hit? Yes. Okay, when we have a serious level like this, when we have a serious situation right now, exchanges will get hit. If you look at Binance, you look at Huobi, any exchange right now that offers a crypto token, right? OKX, everyone is hit, okay? Because in the first place, there was not enough crypto traders, institutions coming in and using these exchanges anyway. A large part of the volume was always not very transparent. A majority of the time, most of it was always derivative based. It was always on leverage. So you would see that, okay, there's the real volume and then there's the volume that is included when you are leveraged. It's two different things. Try to take note that we have lost more than 100 billion in less than a few days. 100 billion, guys. Our market cap right now is at 150 billion. Now that, okay, based on past historics, is actually very low. But in the past, there was no global recession. Right now, there's a global recession. So clearly, our market is going to be hit even further before it will start recovering. So you don't want to be buying in huge right now. It's not like all in. You don't have to do that. You just have to gradually build your position, right? And when I say build your position, you don't even have to be buying in every day, because there's going to be a few problems that I foresee. Firstly, USDT is going to be there's going to be a huge issue with buying USDT, because there's probably not going to be enough for you, and also the prices of buying USDT will start going up, because the demand will start going up as the prices of a lot of things start going down. So anything that you have been looking at, you haven't been buying, you were like, it's too high, we hit 10,300 just this year, and then after that everything started crashing down, right? Right now, it's starting to get really, really attractive for a lot of people, because when I mentioned to you 5-figure Bitcoin is something that not everyone is comfortable, but right now it is 4-figure Bitcoin. It's very close to a lot of people's salary. They have always dreamed of having one whole Bitcoin. Now that is becoming a reality, but is buying at $4,000 really gonna be the price? I feel that we're gonna hit really low this time around, okay? And when we hit really low, right, that's when the price will start forming a support. Now, okay, so maybe I'll just go into the charts, then it gets a little bit more visual. It's easier for people to understand. So let's just look at just indicators. Now, indicators are pretty bad, especially when now we have this black swan event, right? COVID-19 is a black swan event, right? No one anticipated and expected it to be that bad, okay? And even with quarantines, people still, people are traveling at that time, and you don't want to cause a widespread panic, but unfortunately it did happen. Now that's not going to be swept under the rug, okay, anytime soon. So what's going to happen is that you will see a consolidation pattern, okay? Now this is the part where it gets very important. Once you have the sell down, you're going to have dead cat bounces, okay, along the way. Now, those who don't know what are dead cat bounces, basically these are support level orders, right, that will just come in, right? Because these whales already feel that it's relatively cheap, they will start buying. So these dead cat bounces are not very important. What you want to see is this consolidation. It will happen, guys, okay, because no one is sure. When no one is sure, there will be no support. There has to be a support. There will be a consolidation for you, okay? Wherever that price is, it doesn't matter. Right now, you just have to observe. You have to observe the market a little bit more, and you start laddering in your orders. Now, don't start laddering in like aggressively. Get a few positions at the moment, because we don't know when the thing will turn, okay? But catching the falling knife right now isn't that bad an idea as well, okay? Because we clearly got cut down so badly. And last year was practically the low, right? Okay, the low was 3,127. Obviously, sure, could shit hit the fan and then we hit back to the $1,000 to $2,000 level. In the past, it would seem really funny, because at the time there was no global recession, there was no global depression going on. Right now, I would say that this is a global recession, right? It is a global recession, so it warrants itself to be definitely more high. It's a red alert, it's a red flag, okay? Everything is going to get hit, so you have to really be more focused and identify what you need to buy, okay? What are the companies that have been doing well, who have enough cash flow, who have been building throughout, right? That means when whatever they raised was not, was not high, right? It's still high compared to, let's say, for example, if they raise during when their Ethereum was $100, right, or $50, when they raised their BTC when BTC was low, all these things, did they take proper actions, right? This is stuff that you may or may not know, right? I'm just giving you examples. So if they have been around a while, they are most likely not going to close shop anytime soon, but they're definitely going to downsize. And I'm sure that companies that have anticipated this, okay, as you can see, we're already going below 4,000 already, okay? We're going below 4,000. We're definitely going to go lower. Will there be a bounce? Sure. But right now, this is going to be important. So you're gonna be looking at buying Bitcoin, okay? Look at picking up Bitcoin. Go very, very slow. Go very, very small. You have 6, 12, 18 months to do it. You have 6, listen up, not 6 hours, not 6 minutes. You have 6, 12, 18 months to do it. So right now, those who are hustling, is the best time, right? If you're having a part-time job, work, get money, guys. Get money. Right now is the best time to get fiat. Okay, when everyone was complaining about fiat now is king, guys. Cash is king. When you have cash flow coming in, you have the ability to start buying assets, right? Because once the bounce happens, and usually, guys, everything will blow over. Okay, no one, the whole world is not dying. Stop reading articles that are really out of proportion. Okay, yes, it is serious, but the whole world is not going to be to the scale that everybody just gets wiped out from the planet and then there's no more Earth anymore or whatever shit. Please be a little bit more logical in that sense as well. Especially at now, during this time, a lot of people are doing a lot of stupid things like buying up lots of toilet paper and whatever for whatever reason. I have no idea why toilet paper. Maybe they are just afraid that they are going to get quarantined for 2 weeks, so they are afraid that if they have to get quarantined, they need to take a shit. Obviously, there's no toilet paper. Maybe because of that. I just don't. I kind of understand that, but yeah, it's a bit weird. Anyway, so the next 6, 12, 18 months, if you are able to get as much cash, start getting that cash. Okay, if you have been building up some savings, okay, savings, obviously you want to have cash on hand because there are certain things that you need to pay for. You need to prioritize your finances, right? Because you still have bills, you still have your kids' education to look out for, you have a car payment, mortgage payment, whatever that you have. That's why I want to share a story, right? Because there was someone who made enough money just recently, right? Just very recently, just when the year crossed, he made a good amount of money. And I told him, do you have any liabilities? And he said, I have 30,000 in terms of 30 to 40,000 in terms of credit card debt. And he was hesitant to clear it because he was thinking he should hold till the halving this year, and because halving seems to be a very bullish event, and he wanted to hold on. I said, you know what? You already made the money now. It is best that you go and clear that credit card debt now and not wait. And so that is why, guys, whether or not he actually did what I told him to do, I'm not very, very sure, because sometimes the greed, right? Because January the market was doing very, very well, right? And I'm not sure whether he did clear his credit card debt, but if he did, right, he's going to be so thankful, because right now the situation is going to be so bad that you don't want to have a credit card debt. Okay, that's the truth. Okay. Yeah, if things turn to shit, you better have some toilet paper. That is true. Right now, okay, so I think okay, let me get some questions, guys. Okay, guys, if you have questions, right, just put it up in the chat, right? So if I can get to it. What is your prediction of what the bottom is? Official movie maker, right now, it's no point making a prediction, right? Because I always prefer reacting to the market rather than predicting it, because no point saying 2005. Like, what's the point of saying 2005? Like, why? If 2005 is not the low and it goes to $1,000, you know what I mean? What's the point of that? Seriously, it's irrelevant. Just react. Like I told you, have the strategy. The long-term plan will save you, right? And not going all in now is the best. You don't go all in now. You start leveraging. You start building up a position. Now, leveraging to me is okay, but I would feel that if you have not touched leverage before, don't do it. Debt jubilee. I don't understand what that means. Soon it won't matter what dollar value of crypto is. I'm not sure what is a debt jubilee, by the way, because you keep saying that, but it doesn't seem to be a question. Okay, so I didn't realize. Oh, Herbert, right? Okay, what are the best stocks or crypto to purchase now? No, you don't purchase anything now. Okay, I wouldn't be purchasing anything now, because right now everything is getting sold down. What you want to be looking for are industries that will bounce, right? So what are the stocks or industries that I think will bounce? Firstly, I feel banks will bounce back. Okay, but banks that are still going to be around will bounce back. Now, banks are I have to be very cautious on on banks first. Firstly, I did mention shorting banks would be a good idea, but right now, you still actually, if you are bold enough, you still can short banks. I feel that there's going to be default rates that are going to be continuously going to affect the long term debt, right? So anything, because guys, banks are always focused on lending. If the companies and people are defaulting on their payments, right, that's going to affect their profitability, right? And that's the truth. That's the truth. So you want to be shorting banks at the moment and not buying them up. So airlines, unfortunately, a lot of the airlines are going to be hard hit, okay? A lot of the airlines are going to be hard hit. Any young or new property developers are going to be hard hit, right? Because right now, there's probably going to be very little demand. Everybody's just going to be holding cash. No one is going to be bold enough to be buying a new property. Now, obviously, there will be a few people that will be buying up properties because, hey, you know, if they're buying to stay, no problem, right? But if they're buying to flip, it's not going to happen because the whole economy is just shit at the moment. Your neighbor is not going to be able to sell at a premium, right? Obviously, if you bought property in an area long enough, mature enough, that's fine. But I don't see new properties going to give you that flip, right? It's, guys, this is really bad shit. So in terms of stocks, okay. So pharmaceuticals are going to do very, very well. Okay, pharmaceutical stocks are going to be resilient, but they're also being sold down at the moment. So if you're looking at it, you should. Now, tech stocks obviously are going to take a hit as well, but tech stocks is going to be where you want to park your money. I feel Tesla is going to be great. I feel that you can look at Microsoft. I feel that Apple, I'm really very hesitant because I don't see much innovation in Apple anymore. Perhaps if they are looking at other businesses, they're going to be veering off. That's cool. The e-games space is going to be a very interesting space to look at. I think esports is going to still be very, very huge. The turnouts are obviously going to be affected, right? Because all the Dota tournaments, especially, right? All the Dota tournaments, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, whatever, are going to be cancelled. So that's going to be affecting, companies in that space. I think, like companies like Razer, right? Razer are going to be probably going to be on sale. I'm going to be looking at Razer. They've been around a while, right? So as long as any company that is healthy in terms of their cash flow, they have been making solid revenue for at least during the good years, these are the companies that you want to start looking at them, right? Now, for Amazon, yeah, let's remember Amazon, Google, all these companies, right, will definitely be flourishing, especially after this, but they're going to be on sale, right? So you want to be looking out for the big boys. Now is the time to buy them cheap. Not now, but in the next few weeks to a few months, they're gonna start bottoming out. And when they start bottoming out, that's when you start picking them up. Okay, that is where you want to look at. Okay, the yield going up as market got bodied and gold going down. The yield going up as markets got bodied and gold going down. Why? Okay, I feel that the yield. Okay, when you're talking about the yield, right? I think you're referring to long-term debt, right? You're talking about bonds going up, right? Because people are selling their bonds, right? People are selling their bonds right now. I hope you're referring to bonds, by the way. So bonds are getting sold, right? Because everybody wants to hold cash. So the bond prices are dropping and the yield is going to be going up. So those who are holding government bonds, corporate bonds, right, are selling off as quickly as possible, right? Because it's no point, okay, there's no point holding on to the bond, right, when you are getting an interest payment. Now, obviously, if you are someone who is if you bought the bond relatively early, then you're fine. But I think most people buy at par. Very few buy below par. Now, if you are someone who's interested in bonds, right, now is also a good time because the bond prices are going to be dropping as well, right? That's where it will put you in a more favorable spot for your yield because your quarterly payments are going to be more attractive because you're buying your bonds maybe. I don't know, it depends on what kind of bonds you're buying. If you're looking at corporate bonds, it could be 70 cents to the dollar or 80 cents to the dollar. That's very good. Now, obviously, it depends on which companies because most most solid companies, right, are not offering bonds, right, corporate bonds. Most of them are growth, especially the tech stocks, right. They are mostly on growth, right. But yes, there are going to be stocks that are going to have a great dividend yield as well. So holding these kind of stocks, then you build that dividend is also solid, right. So that's also a potential play. So you can look at dividend paying stocks, you can look at bonds, but I rather you have that mixture, that flexibility, because I think bonds are not are not going to be as are not going to give you that great ROI. And I don't think that most people are savvy enough in bonds, or you've been trading bonds long enough. So don't kind of get into it. I think stocks is the great way to go right now. In a way that, in fact, guys, a lot of things are looking very, very attractive now. I'm actually very excited because I think right now it's the good thing to deploy. Right, gold is not going to be the best place, right? Because if you wanted to buy gold, you would have wanted to build a position 3 years ago, right? Buying gold right now, you're actually on the higher end. I'm not saying gold can't go up, right? Because as this market continues to and by the way, to answer your question, why is gold going down? These are the folks who have been in gold the longest, right? So they are now cashing out on it because, honestly, guys, if the market turns around or at least starts to get in control, right, gold is going to drop relatively fast. We're talking about from 1,005, so it went to a high of $1,700 per ounce, and then after that, right, it could go to $2,000, okay, per ounce. But as you can see, there's not much room to grow, right? There's like 1,700 to 2,000, like seriously, that's not much. But if you have been accumulating gold for the longest time, because especially the older folks, right, we're talking about people who are in their 45 and above, right, they are very familiar that gold is a safe haven. It's a hedge, right? Especially with the economy looking this bad, gold would have already been up 30% from the bear market period. The stock market, when the stock market tanked and the whole economy was crashing. At that time, gold was really, really very attractive. Okay, and you start building up because when the QE hit, then after that gold started to get cheap, right? It became $1,000 or 1,100, 1,200 for the longest time. Gold has been about that price. So recently it started to spike. People want to hold cash because they know that if you exit from your gold positions, right? When you exit from your gold positions, you are now able to start looking and getting deals. So you don't want to be having and holding on to too much gold as well, not during this period of time, because you know that there are going to be great deals in the stock market, right? So people who buy gold are usually interested in the stock market. They're not looking at crypto, guys. Okay, so that's just to answer your question. So anyway, look at BTC. BTC is obviously going to be on sale in the next 3 to 6 months. Okay, and when it starts consolidating and bottoming out, you want to start building that gradual position. Okay, now it's already below 4,000 as we speak. Okay, as we speak, it's already below 4,000. So just gradually build your position. I wouldn't really be touching Ethereum because Ethereum is not revenue generating. But yeah, you want to buy Ethereum because it's a technical bounce or whatever. Sure, you can, but I wouldn't touch it. I just wouldn't touch it. I really don't know how is Ethereum going to be relatively profitable, because everyone's just building decentralized applications on them, but it's not a direct cash injection in any way. It's just a network. Now obviously Ethereum is rich enough for the time being, but their burn rate is actually also very high from what I understand. Now when the burn rate is very high, that means they're burning a lot of money, and as Ethereum prices start dropping and they were not wise in cashing out, I feel that the newer projects will be actually more attractive, right? Because the newer projects, they were building during the bear market, whereas Ethereum raised funds when I guess it's possible that Ethereum could do well, because Ethereum raised funds before there was even an altcoin market. There was practically zero speculation. So when they raised their funds, right, it was during a time when Ethereum was not expensive at all. And even at that time when Ethereum did make a move, and if they did do any kind of cashing out just to hold cash, right, I think that puts them in a very good position. So you want to be looking and identifying companies that do that. Now, for me, right, I'm going to be looking at loading up on Huobi because Huobi is now back below $2, right? Now, Huobi is definitely one of those companies that has been establishing its licenses. It has been very, very strong. I think Binance right now is also trying to get its license in Singapore, right, to do crypto to fiat on-ramp. I think right now crypto to fiat on-ramp is very, very important, right? But are they gonna continue to take a hit? Yes, they are. Okay, exchanges, people, whenever markets are like this, the average Joe doesn't know how to react. They probably won't even buy, right? They won't buy. They'll just be sitting on. They're just sitting on. They're just sitting on cash, right? They're just sitting on cash. They're trust me, guys. When you go out and speak to people right now, they'll just tell you, right? I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm gonna hold all cash. Just go and speak to people. 90%, 99% of the time, they really do not know what to do. They're just going to be very, very lost. They're just going to be, they won't do anything. Trust me. So they won't buy, right? So this is very, very important. What price are you getting into BTC? BTC right now, I would say that I will not be buying BTC at the moment because I feel that BTC can go lower, right? BTC doesn't really have any. There's no way that I can validate that, you know, 3 or 4,000 is the low. So the moment I see a consolidation pattern, Josh, I will start looking at it. I'll start buying, but only when there's a consolidation pattern. Any bounces are irrelevant to me at the moment. Okay, so right now, guys, if you are looking at if you're looking at staking, right? Those who are okay, so those who are interested in staking, unfortunately, staking is not the best thing to look at, right? Because you're getting more and more tokens, right? If those tokens recover, even if your staking reward is 17%, 20%, it doesn't matter, because when things are if the price of that particular cryptocurrency doesn't turn around, whatever you're getting is just shit tokens. But however, there are going to be certain companies that are going to do very, very well in this bear market. I think XTZ is a company that's going to do relatively well. I think Hedera Hashgraph is going to probably do very, very well once it launches, because I think Hedera Hashgraph has recently announced that it has the Google partnership, IBM, Tata Communications, Boeing. They're doing pretty well, guys. I think at the moment, they're a company that raised money, but they already had the mainnet. They already had the dApps building on them even before they launched their tokens publicly. So I think that says a lot, right? They are not the kind that, okay, I'll wait for me to raise an X amount before I start doing something. You know, I think they had the smarts to build the network first before actually launching it. So I think that's a company to look out for. Guys, Quantum is on sale now. It's $1. You look at HPT, Huobi Pool token, Huobi Pool, right? Okay, so a lot of people don't understand Huobi Pool, and people are just pretty oblivious. Now, Huobi Pool basically, right? Huobi Pool basically is a company. It's a subsidiary company of Huobi. So just imagine if Coinbase Custody offered a token. Okay, if Coinbase Custody offered a token and you were able to enjoy from a basket of those that were staking. You see where I'm coming from? So for example, Coinbase has so many custodial offerings, right, where they will hold the asset on behalf of the client. Now, if you're not a client, you don't get shit, right? You don't get anything. But for Huobi Pool, right? When you are staking and you are holding Huobi Pool tokens, you get rewards based on whatever node that they have. So if there's an EOS node, if you have a EOS node, you have I think Bitcoin Cash, you have Litecoin. You get a little bit of that profitability, and that is where you have to see how it works, right? So if Coinbase Custody offered a token, that is what Huobi Pool is. Right now, Huobi, on the other hand, obviously has not launched their mainnet yet. So right now, it doesn't stop anything because the mainnet is the testnet is already live. It's only about transitioning to the mainnet. Okay, that is what will happen. Okay, Tezos is $1 now. There you go. Yeah. Joe Ball, no, I am not sponsored by Hopi. Don't be a dumbass, okay? Please. Hopi doesn't sponsor anybody, okay? From day one, they don't pay for anything, okay? The fact that I talk about Hopi because I'm consistent, I think a lot of people are not consistent. Everybody follows every YouTuber and has no freaking idea. The moment this YouTuber buys something, they go and buy it, right? And then they want to find an opportunity to kind of blame the YouTuber, right? Instead of taking the responsibility on themselves. I've been buying Hopi since 2018, okay? I've been buying Hopi since 2018. If you were even watching, right, my content, I've been buying Hopi since 2018. It's nothing new to me, right? So to me, if and guys, I'm not interested in selling Hopi anytime soon. I only want to accumulate more Hopi because I just feel that, I don't want to be buying at the peaks. I always look for opportunities like this right now, then I go in. And it doesn't have to be Hopi, guys. If you want to go and buy your favorite coin that is less than 1 cent, if you've done enough research, you can go ahead and do that. But if you know that this company is not doing anything constructive or not developing well, they practically have a false community, then you better bail, right? You're in deep shit because you clearly didn't do enough research, or you didn't take the time to even speak to the people behind them. You didn't even go to the conference and see what they're all about. You didn't see how they answered your questions, and this better not be questions about when will your token go up 10x. I think that's one of the most it shows how uneducated you are when you only talk about the token price, because you don't identify what makes the token in demand, what creates that demand, because it's all about demand and supply, right? If you create tokens at the moment, but no one is buying your token, who gives a shit if you mint it at 1 cent or 0.001 cent? It doesn't matter because nobody is buying your token. Nobody is using your so-called next level, high level technology. No one gives a shit. So you have to identify that. Joe Ball. Just so you know, right? Whenever I speak about something, I don't have to be sponsored. Okay, I represent myself. Okay, and right now, no point asking you guys to buy, especially if you are US citizens. You can't buy anyway. If you're a US citizen, you can't buy. Just straight up, you can't buy. You can't even buy BNB nowadays. You're only left with using a VPN, or you either you either have a dual passport and you have a dual citizenship, and it allows you to buy. You can't buy. You can't buy anyway. So I'm just talking about what I want to feel I'm talking about. So it's look, I get tilted because clearly I'm not sponsored by anybody. If I was sponsored, guys, I would have to state that I'm sponsored, and this is not even an ad. Like seriously, if you buy Hopi, right, and you make money, do I get anything? Like just saying, guys, if you buy a token, right, because I'm having it, right, how do I make money from you? How? Like please tell me how, and then I will answer you. Okay, so guys, at the moment, I feel that technically you don't have to look at any technicals. I think the current levels, everything is oversold. You don't have to really care too much. Everything is just oversold. Everything is on sale, right? Everything is on sale. The stock markets are going to present a lot of opportunities. Start looking at industry leaders, okay? Stock markets, please look at industry leaders. Build some position in stocks as well, especially if you're someone who is in your 40s, 50. I don't think I have people who are 50 years old watching my channel. But if you're in your mid 30s, hear me out, mid 30s to 40s, build a position in the stock market. Not now. Look at it 3 to 6 months down the road. Okay, you want to see that the COVID is under control. The moment the COVID is under control, right, and trade starts opening up, tourism starts coming back, that is when you start looking and building. Don't take your eyes off it right now. For the next 3 to 6 months, start looking at stuff. Start researching. I don't want anyone to sleep on it, because if you sleep on it and you don't build a position, right, I can safely say you're going to regret. Oh, dark horse. Okay, sure. Okay. Sorry, no offense, by the way, if you're 50, because based on my demographic, I don't have a lot of 45 to 50-year-olds. I have a lot of, I guess I have 18 to 25, and I have 25 to 35, but I have very little 45 and above. So, dark horse, great to know that you're watching. Okay, yep. right now, I think, guys, it is really, okay. So Joe Ball, I think that's a very important thing. Now, I think he mentioned a very important thing. There are a lot of scammers out there, at the moment. And if you look at if you're someone who follows Facebook especially, you're gonna have people who will say that, oh, put in your cryptocurrency, make money fast, you're gonna earn 3%, 4% daily. Those are high yield investment programs. Don't touch them. Okay, they are finding an opportunity because right now, okay, how are those people gonna get hooked, right? Firstly, two ways. They want the cheap BTC, cheap Ethereum, or whatever coin they're going to deposit. So listen up, guys. This is pretty important. Okay, so I'm glad that there are 117 people watching, because I know that people are going to get scammed during this period of time. When people are panicking, they will immediately want to try to find an opportunity, because firstly, there are few folks. Those who are holding cryptocurrencies at the moment, they're seeing their portfolio tank very aggressively. So when their portfolios are tanking very aggressively, they don't know what to do. So they probably dump their alts, right? That adds to the selling pressure, and then they're all in BTC at the moment or in Ethereum. So what happens is that there will be companies that will be posting ads stating, and there will be those internet marketers, right? They will start PMing you and messaging you, telling you that, this is 3% per annum, there's 3% per annum per day, or some kind of crazy yield, and you can earn Ethereum or earn BTC while you sleep. Fucking don't touch those things. Don't even bother clicking the link, because those are high yield investment programs. What they usually do is they build up a position, and then after that they will dump. Okay, they'll do a small payout at most, right? They'll do a small payout, but if it's too fast and they hit their target, they're going to shut down and you will lose your BTC and Ethereum. So don't touch high yield investment programs. There's no fucking thing that makes 3% per day. If you are a trader, yes, you have that potential to make it on your own. But no one is going to be nice enough to trade for other people, especially for the mass market, without any agreement, because you're going to deposit into a wallet, right? And that's all. Okay, you're going to deposit into a wallet and that's it. You're going to lose your coins at some point, and the sad thing is that you are going to be out of the game, right? You are going to be out of the game. Okay? Raymond Bishop, word, man, thank you so much, man. Right now, right, if you are okay, so Joe Ball mentioned that. Okay, so take care, right? Take care. Don't. Facebook is the part where they attack you with all this kind of stuff. Facebook is the only one. So the target demographic is very, 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 very straightforward. Especially now when you look at stocks and everything like that, right? Go and start Go and open up a brokerage account, guys. Open up a brokerage account. Start researching on the industry leaders. Okay, start reading up on industry leaders. I think a good website to look at is MarketWatch. I think MarketWatch is fine. Zacks Investment, right? Zacks Investment, ZACKS, Zacks Investment. I'll do some links in my description, right, so that you can at least go and start researching. Okay, so casinos, I think casinos are not going to do very well. Okay, so gambling stocks are definitely going to take a hit as well. LVS, Las Vegas Sands, MGM, they're all going to be doing very, very poorly, especially during this time. I think they've already been doing poorly for a long time already. So those are the companies that are taking a hit at the moment. I wouldn't really touch gambling stocks, but I think online gambling is still going to be hot, right? Because when the economy is doing very, very badly, people resort to all these kind of stuff. Now, it's sad, right? Because when people lose their jobs, they get desperate, right? Because they don't have another skill set, right? They've been working in the same company for more than a decade, 10, 15, 20 years. Suddenly they lose their jobs, right? They get desperate and they don't know what to do. So immediately you start going into alcohol, you start maybe drinking, you start getting depressed, and you potentially start gambling. I think stay away from all these sites, right? If you don't know how to control it, don't do it. Okay. Ryan, are you short? No, I only long. Funny that you asked that. I only long the VIX. Okay, so if you're wondering what's that, I actually long the VIX at. Oh, what is this? This is okay because I basically long the VIX I basically long the VIX, right? Okay, so what I did was I have positions at the $60 mark. I opened the position at the $60 mark because I kind of missed this whole uptrend, right? So I opened at 60, and then now it's currently riding up. I have a very small position. It's not like I had a big position, because VIX to me would be the indicator when shit hits the fan, right? So VIX is currently the one that I'm doing at the moment. I'm only interested in buying. I don't really do shorts. I'm only interested in buying. If you ask me what would I be doing, I'll be building up long positions in BTC. That is something that I will be looking at. I will be building up positions, and I'm going to be looking at a 3 to 5x long. That's me. Okay, and this 3 to 5x long is going to give me that multiplier for my existing crypto portfolio. Now, I don't want to buy Bitcoin directly, right? I want to still stay in alts, because alts will still give me that faster ROI. Whereas Bitcoin, right, are for the mass market. The mass market only knows about Bitcoin, right? Because they are, how do I know that? Because when you look at Coinbase, right, when you look at Gemini, how many pairings are there, right? So the first thing you look at Bitcoin, right? Anyone who doesn't know anything, who doesn't follow any crypto YouTuber, or doesn't even look at YouTube, or looks very little at YouTube, will only buy Bitcoin. So that will be the enabler. But will Bitcoin be the one to give me the high crazy multiplier? It wouldn't. It will always still be the altcoins. Okay. Do you believe in DeFi future itself? Okay. Okay. Sorry that I didn't answer that question. DeFi. I just want to post one thing. I feel that decentralized finance is also gimmicky in a way. I'm not saying that it cannot work, but can you answer me this? Would you be willing? Okay, so JP loaded. Just something to think about, right? JP reloaded. Would you be willing to offer services to someone that you don't know, or you cannot, or you don't do a full KYC on? So you think about that. Now you're saying, oh, but no, Ryan, you don't understand DeFi. You're supposed to put in collateral, and based on the collateral that you put in, whether is it if any kind of token, or so-called a backed digital asset, then from then I'll offer the lending. Okay, so now you're saying that it could potentially be cross-border. How does that work? My property, say let's talk about it. Right now, if I was to do asset-based lending, I want to pledge my property. Right now, everything is on sale. I don't have any cash. I want to pledge one of my properties to get 60%. It works, right? Because the property is here in Singapore. I can go to a bank. The bank will put up a valuation for my property, and sure, give me a hairline. I'm not gonna get 70-80% in this market, but I can easily get 50%, right? So say, for example, right now, say the property is $1 million. You want to be very aggressive and say, okay, we're going to do a 30% haircut, right? And give me up to 70% of my current property value. So that's 700,000. Okay, I don't need 700,000. I just need 350,000. So you are now able to lend me, because I'm a Singapore citizen. From there, you lend me 350,000. I can do whatever I want. I pledge my property to you. In the event that I fail and default on my payment, you have the right to take my property. Cool. Okay. Now, in DeFi, it's going to be most likely cross-bordered, right? How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? Seriously, how do you do that? So let's not talk so advanced. Let's talk about tokens. You're going to be willing to pledge your tokens onto the platform, and then from then the company is going to lend out. Okay, so the company is going to lend out a percentage of your Ethereum pledge. For example, you pledge Ethereum. You don't have the intention of selling your Ethereum. You have a basket. You have a good bag of it, and you want to release cash. It's the same concept. So in the event that you want cash, so let's say for example you have 1,000 Ethereum, and at that time when Ethereum was say $200, you decided to get. They will give you 50%. Now, I have another thing that I want to ask you. Why would you be so confident to put 1,000 Ethereum with someone else for cash? Yes, you got 50% of that cash. Okay, that means back to your bank account. Okay, you got the cash. It's in the bag. But now you have 1,000 Ethereum with someone else. If that company is credible enough, I feel that it will work. But how many companies can you trust at this point of time? Obviously, you can.
at this point of time, how many can you can trust? I guess. Okay, when I say this, is full disclaimer. I'm not sponsored by them. Okay, I'm just saying. For example, Gemini, for example, Coinbase. Okay, for Americans especially, right? You kind of can trust them because they've been the face for the market for quite a while. So, if you want to pledge your Ethereum or do DeFi with them, they will still do KYC. So it defeats the purpose, right? Because this is called decentralized finance. They will still do KYC on you. Now, if you're saying, oh no, I want to do it with a company that I don't have to do KYC in. Okay, so now you don't know the company. You're basing it on what? On their YouTube channel or their marketing on Twitter. What are you basing it on? Don't you think the risk is very high for you to for you to pledge any kind of asset with an unknown company that is not doing KYC? That is just shady as shit. So to me, I don't know how it works. I don't want to be the wet blanket for people who are now trying to get in on the DeFi trend. I don't know how it works. Okay, I'm just gonna put it at that. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so can BTC make its all-time high after a day like today still, or do you think it scared over other potential investors off? Definitely. I feel that BTC is not going to make its all-time high anytime soon, right? Not especially when people are now holding cash. Look, man. Clearly, when markets are just okay. Wait. Now, when the money is flowing out of the stock market, right? People will look at a few things. People will potentially be looking at private placements. Okay. Buying tokens is really not on anybody's mind, especially if you're someone who is a big your big hedge fund, you're a family office. Right now, you'll be holding cash. You'll be looking at buying tangible assets, right? So, but you don't want to do that immediately. They would usually build on their properties. They'll build on their property portfolio. They'll be looking at developing. Now, of course, as an average investor, why are you talking about all this kind of shit? Okay. Right now, we're talking about Pavel. Man. Hey, what's up, Pavel? So it's not really interesting. It's just the truth. Please tell me how you're gonna do KYC. Please tell me just the trust between the company, yourself and the company. Vice versa. How does that work? Then put yourself as an institution. Right? If you're going to be putting in a large bulk of your assets with this particular company, I'd be very concerned. And right now, the market is bouncing already. See, thanks, guys. Everything is now bouncing again. But never mind. You know what? Still observe the market. Don't be too quick to get in and catch any falling knives. Okay? I think this video is already an hour long. So if you have questions, maybe I'll take the next 5 to 10 minutes to answer questions, and then let's make it a little bit more interactive, right? I think I answered most of the questions. Should I buy BNB now or wait? Should you buy BNB now? Right. I think at the moment you can wait. Everything I've mentioned is you can wait. You should wait. Chris, it's just probably it's just a rebound. Like I told you already, when things get cheap enough, okay, firstly, it's oversold. Yeah, it may be a dead cat bounce. Yeah, Josh, yeah, it's possible, right? Look at how bad the economy. You know what? Look, even the stock market will have its dead cat bounce. Okay, can you imagine if the stock market just dropped 50% in a day? Why wouldn't someone consider buying, right? Because it comes into the range, especially if they've been targeting, right? Now, people who are observing this, hey, Jason, what's up, man? So those who are looking at the stock market, they're like myself, I'm looking at the crypto market, right? But right now, I'm going to be looking at the stock market also because I just wish I had more money, guys. All I can say, I just wish I had more money because right now the stock market is also looking relatively attractive, and I would still go on a growth play there. I would really still go on a growth play there. I just can't emphasize it enough. And people who are able to build a position, right, in the next 12 to 24 months, right, you're gonna be in very, very good shape in the next 5 to 10 years. I am pretty certain of that because I was someone who made a boo-boo back in 08, 09, right? I made a boo-boo, guys, and I lost money. But right now, I'm in a position to do very, very well. So I want people to do well. I don't want people to miss out. I really don't want people to miss out, guys. I'm very excited for everybody who's watching this right now. I really am. bull market back on no, Eddie, no, it's not a bull market, please. Use the correct terms, right? We are clearly not in a bull market. This is a bear market. It's a recession. No, you have to identify that correctly. We are still gonna be in this for a while. Okay, I don't anticipate anything sexy happening. But yeah, you should be dollar cost averaging and buying. I only want to keep saying that dollar cost averaging. If you need to get a tattoo to remind you to dollar cost average, I suggest that you tattoo it on your balls or on your armpit. So at least every time, if you need to shave or some shit, right? At least you can see. You will be reminded. Now, obviously, you don't want to do this DCA on your forehead, right? Because you need to go to work. But you need to probably tattoo it on your balls or on your armpit, because the armpit is one of the most painful, or on your bicep near the vein, so that you remember. Or you can tattoo it on your wrist. DCA, dollar cost averaging. If you need the whole fucking word, just tattoo your back. That is probably the most important thing. Guys. So at the moment, try to build positions. Seriously, I cannot emphasize this enough. I think you guys who have been watching me for a while, I came out here to calm everyone's nerves, right? And kind of get everyone in perspective. I don't want people to forget what they need to do, because when I missed out at that time and I had no one to guide me, I mean, I didn't have anyone who was experienced enough to talk to me. You know what I mean? My parents, they are not into the stock market whatsoever. They are hardworking folks. They buy property, and then after that they sit on it. They don't flip it, guys. The only time when they flip it is when they want to sell the property to go and upgrade. You know what I mean? They're not the kind dump my GF to DCA. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Like, why not? Especially if she's just been a piece of shit, right? Maybe you should, right? Because when you spend on people who are toxic, right? Right? Like, screw those steak dinners and movies, man. Now is the time to be buying shit cheap, right? Yeah, it's like all in BTC and ETH. All in, yeah. You do your all in with DCA, right? You do your all in with DCA, because it could go lower, right? It could go lower, but get some, right? Just think about it, guys. If your salary is $5,000, whatever, right? $5,000, you can buy a whole Bitcoin now. Like, you don't eat for the whole month, but you still can buy a whole Bitcoin. But how many people's salary is $10,000, right? How many people's monthly salary is $10,000, and will they dedicate that whole $10,000 into one whole Bitcoin? It isn't very attractive, but right now it's very attractive. It's more attractive. But should you be buying aggressively? I really wouldn't recommend it. I'd rather you take it slow. Look at a 12-month period to accumulate, but wait for that consolidation. Litecoin. Everything is up for consideration. But the fact that Charlie Lee sold all his Litecoin, he has no skin in the game on that part, right? He's not vested anymore. So you can buy it to trade, right? You can buy it to trade, but I wouldn't really touch it. I seriously wouldn't. I just wouldn't, because you just dumped everything already. When you dumped everything, you have no skin in the game. You have no incentive to really make it do well, right? You don't have any incentive. Sure, you can probably say, oh, you know what? I'm gonna be parking more funds into the foundation. But you know what? You know how entrepreneurs or people who start businesses think? If I'm funding this, okay, I'll tell myself I want to fund it for 3 years. If 3 years or whatever is the time frame, 3-5 years, okay, whatever is the time frame in their head, and if they don't, and if the company doesn't gain any traction in the next 3 to 5 years, they'll just pull out. Right? They will not continue to fund the project. They won't. They don't. They are not going to be dumb enough to keep piling in money into. It's like throwing money into the toilet bowl or into a black hole. They're not going to do it. A complete bub. Do you think that the price of Litecoin could reach $3 or complete it? Okay, Chris, I think the question is the same as anyone who's asking me about prediction. My question to you is, if Litecoin goes to $3 or even $1, let's just put it that way. I'll answer your question. if Litecoin or any cryptocurrency goes to $1, would you have the courage to buy? Would you have the courage to buy? Now, the question is, are you familiar enough and do you trust that they are doing enough stuff for you to see and use Litecoin, okay, before you decide to do that? Because if you have that confidence, right, that absolute confidence that they're not going to go anywhere, you can buy, right? Or you can buy as a flip. Because right now, if there's no clear indication of any kind of default, no one is saying that they are going to close their company or close the project, the tokens will always still have tradable value, right? So if there's going to be that opportunity, you can trade it or you can clearly buy to hold. So I think that is probably the question. Bottom is already in, I think. There's going to be a lot of dead cat bounces. Erwan, I think it's better to be more conservative on the safe side and don't call bottoms too quickly. Really, don't call bottoms too quickly. This is not the same as it's just not the same market. Okay, so just be a little bit more cautious. Okay, guys. I think that's all the questions that I have. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And then if guys. There's the free Discord, right? There's the free Discord, and I noticed that if you can always ask questions there, right? You can always ask me questions, general questions. There, I don't give what should you buy now, right? These are things that I don't do much anymore, because I feel that if you do that and then it's the wrong timing, people get pissed. So I think the most important thing is just have a plan, stick to the plan, and don't panic. Okay. Yep. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching and see you in the next live stream.